So we have actually 4 MBAs. An MBA in hospitality, it's an integrated after 12. An MBA hospitality and travel and tourism. We have an integrated MBA. We have an MBA in financial services, and we have an MBA executive, which is an evening program. So with this very brief, background about the business school, I welcome you to share your experiences and enrich all of us here with your experience and your wisdom as far as the business is concerned.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Professor Dayanand, for the witness. Now I request our MBA student Joel Mather to give a brief introduction about the guest.
Good morning, everyone. It gives me an immense pleasure to introduce you all to the guest speaker for today, Shri Sairaj Dhond. Mr. Sairaj Dhond is the founder and CEO of WAKAO FOOD, a new age food production company hailing from a lineage of business experts. Mr. Dhond had a natural inclination towards entrepreneurship from a young age. Mr. Dhond believes in a diverse business trajectory which ventures across various sectors of the market. Staying true to his vision, he had now entered the F&B space with his debut project, WAKAO Foods. Mr. Dhond began his professional journey as a lawyer, but soon defied his academic-led profession in pursuit of his true calling, entrepreneurship. WAKAO is the first vegan meat brand in the country. It is a new age Indian food brand that makes products that are not only healthy but also good for the planet. 2021 was a huge milestone here as WAKAO Foods became India's first startup backed by all 3 female sharks on Shark Tank India. The brand received funding from Sugar Cosmetics, Mama and MBA Pharmaceuticals. Mr. Dhond is involved on the social front and is invited to various colleges to inspire and mentor aspiring entrepreneurs to achieve their goals.
Thank you, sir. So over to you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Hi, everyone. Nice to be here amongst you all. And a lot of people will be watching us online as well. So, I'm here not to give you all any big gyan or to tell you all a lot of things that you all should do or should not do. I'm just here to share a few experiences and of the journey that I've had till now. So very briefly, so we'll divide this into a few things. So we'll also do a lot of question answers of things that you all would want to know. We'll divide this very quickly into what my journey has been till now, how we've built WAKAO Foods, and what are the takeaways in the whole startup ecosystem that is there for us today. So I'm a lawyer by education. You guys would have heard that. I studied law for 5 years, very, very rigorously and very honestly. I always wanted to be a great lawyer. I started practice. I practiced criminal law for a year. But then as destiny has it, sometimes after you do something day and night, over a period of time, you realize whether you really want to do it for the rest of your life or not. And I realized that I didn't want to do that for the rest of my life. I didn't know what I wanted to do, but I was sure that this is something I didn't want to do. So I quit law, looked at other opportunities. So what you all see of WAKAO Foods here today is, it may seem that it's a short journey. WAKAO Foods has been over a year, just slightly over a year and 3 months. But my journey started close to 10 years ago. I did 3 ventures before WAKAO Foods. We tried doing everything with the same energy and zest. But I always knew that that was not my ultimate thing that I was going to do. I knew in my subconscious mind, and I always had this dream of creating a product and taking it to the world. Creating a product that would be called India's product or Goa's product, and it should go all across the world. I didn't know what that product was, but I knew that someday that something would come across and I'll be able to do it. So that's when this whole thing, and this very important thing in life that I say are opportunities. Opportunities come very seldom, but when they come, you need to grab them with both your hands. And that's one thing that I'm good at. I always keep my eyes open, ears open for opportunities. And when you see the opportunity, grab it. So this opportunity came close to almost a year and a half, a little more back, when I came across one article which said, jackfruit, the superfood of the world. And that really got me thinking. I just thought to myself, I said, jackfruit is this ignored fruit that we have that literally rots in our backyard. And here the world is calling it a superfood. So I saw a great opportunity in this. I started researching deeper into it. And when the more I read about it, I realized that it's not jackfruit, it's a jackpot. Yeah. And you need to, now you realize that, okay? What do you do next? What's the next step that you take? That's where you have to go with your gut. And I said, we have to make something big out of this. So I brought a lot of samples, got it tested with friends. I read it myself and I realized that, boss, this is a good product. We can really scale this. I spoke to a lot of people, a lot of friends, well-wishers, and they said, Sairaj, building a brand is not a joke. You have a lot of faculty here who teach marketing and branding. You would realize that building a brand from a place, say, like Goa, with an entrepreneur who has no other kind of backing, in the sense, a brand-based backing. How do you create a world-class brand that can stand out and the world can take notice of? I didn't know. I didn't know the answer to that, quite honestly, and I don't think any of y'all would also know. But there's one thing that you need to do, and that is perseverance. So we start small, okay? So one principle that I have in life, all of us are not perfect in everything, or all of us are not skilled or great at everything, right? Let's agree that. Agree? Yeah? So even I am not great at everything. I may be great at not even great, good at a few things. So when I was creating a brand of my own, and I knew that I wanted to make this really big, I got on board a lot of people who had great skills. And that's how you build a big brand. A person alone can do only that much. So if you want to do something really path-breaking, get on people who can really help you scale that and who have great expertise in that particular thing. So right from branding, right from the name, right from how the packaging would look, right from how we are going to position this before the world, I had great agencies working with me. I got them on board and we built this small thing called WAKAO. Now, how we had to take it to market. So one thing is getting your brand ready, getting your creatives ready, getting your logo ready. And the next thing is, how do you take it to market? Go-to-market strategy. So we started in Goa. We started really small in Goa. So from ideation to product, it was a 10-month journey. Only 10 months and we were ready with our product on shelves at Maxons. So that journey started. So a lot of people, question and they say that, Sairaj, you come from a family with a business lineage. You all have businesses. So I'm a 4th generation entrepreneur. We have businesses that we've built, my grandfather, father, and the rest of the family. But this business is completely different from my family business. So I would like to also make that very clear so that people understand that it's not very difficult to build the business. It's not that because I had some kind of backing or some kind of lineage that I could build it. All my 3 businesses before this also were just my businesses. Every money that has gone into this business is my money. And it's money that I've raised. Okay? So doing a business or starting a startup doesn't require bag loads of money and doesn't require any kind of lineage. Let's get that out of our minds. You need 2 big things to start a business. Very big things, huh? One is a great attitude and one is a great idea. You can't compromise on any of the 2. And attitude, I say, because if anyone is betting on you, how many of you all saw my Shark Tank episode? Oh, some didn't see. Okay, I'll send you the link. Not because I was in it, but because what the sharks say about you. When an investor is watching you, they consistently say one thing: we are betting on the founder. We are betting on the founder and we are betting on the idea. They don't know what's going to happen with it. So if the founder has real perseverance, that is the biggest quality you need to have. It's perseverance that you want to do, you want to achieve. You believe in your idea and now you want to achieve that idea. That's where it all ends for the investor. They see a great idea, a great scalable idea. See now, what is a great idea? What is a great idea? So I always say there are two things, two very good ideas for startups. One is where you see a gap in the market. Okay, you see a gap where there is a product or a service which does not exist and which can be filled by you. That is a great idea. So no one was doing jackfruit, right? There was no jackfruit brand in India. There was a gap in the market. And today we are trying to own that gap. Or the second is where there is a product or a service, but it can be made in a much better way, where you can improve the customer experience, so you can improve the quality of the product. You can improve that particular product or service is the second big idea. I don't see any other way of doing any idea. So these are the two big ways where you can find ideas. Now, what an investor looks for in an idea. The most important thing for an investor is scalability of an idea. How you can scale an idea. If they are putting in 10 lakhs, how can it become 10 crores? So when you're coming up with ideas, that is very important for you to understand how you can scale a particular business. So what happens for us, even when I was doing my marketing, let's go back to that, how we took this to different places. What is the biggest channel today for marketing? Anyone can tell me? What is the biggest marketing channel? Agreed? Everyone agrees? So at least we are all on the same page. Everyone is in sync with what's happening today. Social media, digital marketing, D2C. How many of you have heard of D2C brands? Anyone has heard of D2C? No? Okay, this is the most elementary thing. D2C is direct to consumer. Okay? And homework for today, all of you will go back and read what D2C is. Because if you all want to build a brand of scale, you need to understand what D2C marketing is and what are D2C brands. Today, the brands that are turning unicorn and are getting funded left, right, and center are all D2C brands. Okay, so what is D2C? Direct to consumer. Now, how difficult it was before and how easier it has become now. I have a brand, okay? I have a product, WAKAO. What I need to do? Go online, get an agency or get someone in-house to put up some ads, target audiences, and I'm directly targeting. How many of you have received the WAKAO ad on Instagram? Yeah, so some of you have received. So I don't know, my targeting is not working well here then. Because there are a lot of people who will receive the WAKAO ad. Now what happens there is the company is directly sending an ad to you and you are directly making a purchase and any of these ads will push you to make a purchase. So it is direct to consumer. There is no middleman in between. Here what happens is the brand gets noticed all across. It gets popularized. People know there is a brand recall. People are reading WAKAO. Okay, oh wow. Otherwise, what is the conventional way, which we also do, is going through retailers, going through a Maxons or a Delfinos, where you'll go to the store, you will have a look. Out of 5,000 odd products, it's difficult to get your eyes on a WAKAO because it's new. You don't know it. But here you are forced to see it because it's coming on your feed. You're seeing it regularly. That's D2C. Those are D2C brands now. So so a brand like Mama Earth, one of the companies that funded us on Shark Tank, was till very recently 100% D2C brand, 100% online brand. They didn't have a single offline store. Can you believe that? And they are a unicorn. What is a unicorn? A $1 million company, $1 billion company, 7,500 crores of valuation. Crazy, right? Without having one offline store. So now you know why I say D2C is so important. That is because it is the future. That is where you market. It's the cheapest way of marketing. You have to spend a lot of money in marketing outside. So today you have to become really smart with how you build brands. We are used to, and I don't say this with a level of like to demean anyone, but we Goans are too comfortable. Okay, we are too much at ease with ourselves. We are very happy living in our own ponds. We don't know what's happening outside. If we are removed from our pond and thrown in that ocean, we'll be lost. And that's what's happening today. We feel that the whole world revolves all around here, but the world is outside, my friends. And it's only when you take that step to explore what's happening outside, you'll realize that there's so much more that can be done. There are people doing such amazing things which you can learn from. We are happy with mediocrity. And according to me, mediocrity is a bad word. I hate mediocrity. You have to keep running behind one thing, not money. Excellence. Try to create excellence with whatever you do. Try to create value out of what you're doing. So if you're creating a brand, creating a product, try to make it the best product ever. Trust me, if the product is right, if your brand is right, everyone else will come chasing you. And that's happening with us today. Everyone will come chasing you if you get it right with your product. So let's get out of our zone. Let's get out of our comfort zone and get into the real world, where we see real competition, where we see what people are really doing. It's very easy for all of us here to sit, hear those lectures, go back home, get back to our conventional lives, get back to the conventional businesses that our fathers and grandfathers have been doing all their life, and be very comfortable doing that for the rest of our life. Very comfortable, right? Yeah? But there is no fun in that. There is no thrill in that. And you are making 0% difference to the world. Do you want to make a difference to the world? Or do you want to just get done with your life? I'm someone who believes very clearly and very simply that if we've come into this world, we have one life. Let's make a bloody difference in the world. Let's give the world something that you can be remembered all your life for. And that is why I want all of you all to just get up, move out of your comfort zone, start reading. To an extent, I'm a little disappointed that you all didn't know what D2C was. Because you all are management students. You all are people who should be in the thick of things. You all have to be more inquisitive, more curious of what's happening. What are the businesses that are being built? So if you see Shark Tank, for the simple reason that there were 130 or 140 odd businesses that were telecasted, ventures, startups. There were 62,000 entries for Shark Tank India. 62,000 entries. 62,000 startups. And most of them were in our age group. See, I'm not too old. And I'm not shy to tell my age also. I'm 33. I'm a little older than you guys. But honestly, there were a lot of startups within our age group. Majority of them. There are people who are thinking so much differently, And that's what I want you all to start doing. Think out of the box. Think differently. From 62,000 startups, 198 was selected for the final round. 160 odd were shot and 130 were telecasted and 62 odd got funding, and we were one of them. So the point remains that to get funded and to get recognized, by anybody, you need to really have an X factor. Okay? In Goa, we have 2-3 very traditional businesses. One is hotels, one is restaurants, construction, and something related to tourism. Set businesses. And we all, generation after generation, keep doing that only. And say that, wow, we have a great lineage. What lineage? What have you done with your life? The person who started it was a great man or woman who started it. Hats off to them for creating a great business, which 3-4 generations are still surviving on that. So I hope you are getting the point, what I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say here is that we need to look at things from a different point of view. We need to look at things from a point of view of trying to change the world, of trying to give great products and services to the world. We all are capable. Trust me, there's no one who's not capable. Everyone has it within himself or herself. We have to only find it out. And another thing, let me tell you, no one does anything by themselves, like I said before. So don't think that how will I, one person alone, do such a big thing? No one person does anything. Sairaj is doing nothing great in WAKAO. There is a big team that works. There are so many more people who are working at WAKAO and making this happen. I like to say that I work the least. There are a lot of people who are working really hard and making things happen. So you have to find the right partners, have to find the right purpose in life and move ahead and get things done. I just made a few points while we were discussing. Let me just see if there's something. There is another thing that we always keep talking about, how difficult it is to get jobs, right? How difficult it is to get jobs and how difficult it is to start up. How many of you all feel it is very difficult to start a venture? Let's be honest, it's difficult. It's not easy. I'm not here to say that starting up is easy. But let me say this also. This today is the best time to start a startup in India. There has been no better time than this. And I'll tell you why I say that. Today in India, there are a line of investors out there with loads of money, waiting to invest in great founders and great ideas. So that whole notion that you need to have a lot of money to start a venture is actually just a notion. It's not reality. If you have a great idea and you have a great attitude, or as a founder, you have the whole passion to fulfill that idea, there will be an investor out there for you. I can challenge you. Okay? So what that investor will see is whether there is a great idea and whether this founder can make that idea into reality. Now, if you can do the two, then there is someone out there waiting for you to fund your venture. So gone are those days where you have to go job hunting. So even for me, when we hire people, I am looking to hire entrepreneurs. I don't want to hire someone who has an employee or a managerial kind of mindset. At WAKAO, every person who is employed or who comes on board is an entrepreneur. Because only an entrepreneur and only an entrepreneur, a person with an entrepreneurial drive, can have that fire in the belly. Heard this line before? Fire in the belly. My favorite line. You need that fire in the belly. If you don't have that fire in the belly, nothing's going to happen. You will start great, but it will not go anywhere. When you have goals to reach, when you have put yourself tough targets. So I was just telling your sir, Nilesh sir, that what targets we have for the next 5 years. And even his eyes went open. I don't know if I'll achieve those targets, I really don't know if we'll be able to achieve those targets. If we achieve those targets, then whoa, great. But we are going to aim for it. Because that is what drives us every day. That is what drives us to create something that is unimaginable. It is very easy to do something that is anyway imaginable or that you can fathom. That you will anyway achieve this. This is like, okay, everyone can accept and agree that this is achievable. What's the kick in achieving it? I don't see a kick in achieving it. Okay, you say that this is really difficult. If you do this, it's amazing. Okay, now there's a kick in achieving that, right? Right? That challenge which is there is what drives an entrepreneur. And only if you can feel that challenge from within, where you have to challenge everything in the world, challenge everyone. And I always say this, the decisions that you take in life have to be your own. And I have a favorite line, suno sabki, karo khud ki. But with zero arrogance. So I'll explain why. There'll be a lot of people who will give you a lot of suggestions. Well-meaning people also. There'll be some who will just come and try to do time pass, but there'll be a lot of people, well-meaning people, who will give you proper feedback, proper suggestions. Take them, hear them out clearly. Never stop someone from giving you a suggestion. Worst thing you'll do, keep your ears wide open and mouth shut and hear. Take everything in, then sit alone at peace and analyze all of that. Understand what I'm saying? Huh? Analyze all of that. Do your research, see whether there was some truth in what they're saying, take what best you can take out of it, and then come to your own decision, which may not be the same as what they were saying. But that decision has to be a well thought of, well analyzed, a rational and pragmatic decision. And that has to be your decision. And when you take that decision, stand by it. If you fail, you fail. It's your mistake. But if you succeed, you succeed. So you have to take your own decisions based on complete research and analysis. There cannot be decisions just based on instincts. Sometimes instincts and gut feeling will be there for a few things, but when it comes to business decisions per se, you have to analyze and take a decision which is really based on some kind of material. So yes, so this is how the whole business and startup ecosystem is working right now. There's no limit. It's limitless. There's so much for everyone. You just need to be there at the right place at the right time. Keep scouting for opportunities which come. They'll come. Hold on to it. Strangulate it. Like with the Shark Tank opportunity, it came to me. I caught hold of it. Strangulated it till the last drop. So people have seen me dancing also. I said, I'll dance, I'll beg, I'll do anything as long as it helps my brand. And that's how it is. So today, WAKAO has got a national recognition. And it's superb, but it's going to last only a few days or a few months. And then people are going to forget us again. So till it's there, we have to make the most of that opportunity. We have to see how we can increase the longevity of this. And that is by doing some great stuff and adding value to people. And that's what we're doing. So that's how it is. All you guys have to just keep your eyes open and ears open for opportunities and grab onto them. And please get out of this comfort zone of yours. Get out of that very easy, laid back attitude. Life is very short, my friends. You get one life. People at your age are doing crazy stuff. And when you read, and even I felt that way when I read it, I said, what am I even doing with my life? What am I even doing with my life? These guys at this age have done such amazing stuff. We really need to do more. And that's when you're going to get up and come up with great ideas. So friends, wake up. Let's get out of our ponds. Let's get into this whole ecosystem of startups and of doing great things. I'm available to all of y'all whenever y'all would like to talk to me or want to interact with me. I'm happy to speak to all of y'all to just help y'all, guide y'all. Y'all can give me feedback about the product, about what needs to be done. But at the end of the day, you have to get up and do something different in life, or else we're all going to be running that old rat race. When we come into existence and when we perish, we won't even realize what we've done in between. So let's create value. Let's create real good things in life which we can be remembered for. I think, yeah, that's about it. I leave the floor open for questions if you all have anything.
So those are questions. We have a mic that can circulate.
Yeah, before you ask questions, I'll just tell them when my eyes popped out.
Because at the moment you're talking about a current valuation of 10 crores, and in 5 years the unicorn is about 7,000 crores. It's a compounded annual growth rate of 270.7%.
Yeah, I know. Thank you for reminding me.
The eyes popped out.
Yeah, that's a goal, and that's not impossible. It's a possible goal.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
So, you said the name WAKAO, right? And I found it really catchy. So, can you tell us what's the story behind it to name it as WAKAO?
So I did name it as WAKAO. So, like I said, we had an amazing agency, which is headed by a now good friend called Manish Masi. They're all Delhi guys, and they are professionals, okay, into branding. So my brief to him was very simple. I said, Manish, I need a name which can be abstract, which can be just anything. But once you hear that name, like you said, you should forget that name. So I didn't know what the name was. So we underwent a big process. It's called a pyramid kind of process where they get names, and very professional. We went through more than 200 odd names. And out of those 200 names, one name was WAKAO. And when I read that, it came on WhatsApp. I read WAKAO. WAKAO. 2-3 times I said it to myself, WAKAO. WAKAO. I thought it was nice. It was interesting. So I went, my parents were also on the table. Everyone was there. My wife was there. I said, WAKAO. He said, are you mad? What is WAKAO? so I texted Manish. I said, Manish, what does WAKAO mean? So he said, nothing. He asked me, what does Yahoo mean? I said, nothing. So he said, WAKAO is an expression of happiness, like Yahoo. So, wow. Then he sent me a small clip, and that clip has gone everywhere now. WAKAO, WAKAO. So he said, it is this. And so basically, WAKAO was just an expression of happiness. It's like Yahoo. So, again, there one very important thing that he said, and which remains, they are like, it's a pearl of wisdom. He said, there is no perfect name, brand name. There is a name, and then your marketing makes it perfect. Okay? So you can just name it anything. But then how you market it is what changes everything. What is WAKAO, yeah? But today, WAKAO is WAKAO. So it's like that. So it actually meant nothing, but it was it was a different name, abstract name, which means expression of happiness. So it went so well with what we were building. So I was building a company always that was young, was very youthful, was very vibrant, very colorful. If you see all the packaging, very colorful. If you see our Instagram page, there's a lot of vibrance in it, very positive, and that is what it was. It just worked well.
That is the reason I asked this question, because it was very catchy and like, what is this?
It's the most frequently asked question.
Yeah.
I get asked this because everyone has the same query. What is WAKAO? What does it mean? What is its connection with jackfruit? Nothing. Zero connection. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Your business is imitation meat, vegan or vegetarian imitation meat. But there is another market which is opening up, that is tissue cultured meat. And that tissue cultured meat is a huge market. People are predicting by 1940, 40 to 50% of the meat will be grown in tissue culture using stem cells. Now in India, but it requires a considerable amount of R&D because cost and the culture is a difficult things. But already commercial production has started.
Yes.
In India, is there any startups who have taken this challenge? Because it will require a considerable amount of R&D before they start getting fruits.
Correct. Thank you, sir, for your question. Yes. So lab-based meat, they're called. It's a big thing.
In Singapore,
It is already growing in a big way. And
but
people
it's slightly more costlier than that.
are much more costlier. And there are certain ethical issues also with that, with the veganism movement and what they think about it. And it's a lot of process that goes into it. So one of the things for us, so there are a lot of startups who are working on it. To answer your question, yes, there are a lot of startups, a lot of big companies who are investing heavily into it because that is the future. But the thing with us and why we are different from any other lab-made meat is that we are a natural product. We are not a processed product. We don't have any preservatives. So our product is jackfruit. And we are trying to get jackfruit as close as it can get to a meat. So I keep saying this is as close that a fruit can get to a meat. They cannot be in its natural form. No other process or product can come this close in its natural form. Yes, it can if it's processed heavily. Like a lot of international companies also do mock meats, but the processing is huge with it. There are preservatives. There are a lot of things that go into it. So we wanted to come up with a clean product, just to rebrand jackfruit in a mock meat segment. So that was our aim. Therefore, we are not into lab-based products. We are not into a lab-based meat or cell-cultured meat. Ours is a natural fruit which mimics meat.
When you take an animal-based protein, dairy products or meat products, they contain all the essential amino acids. There are nine essential amino acids.
Correct.
But most of the vegetarian products, they don't have all of them.
Correct.
So they have to be fortified. Are you fortifying anything?
So we are the only thing that we are adding, because jackfruit is naturally not a protein-rich product. It is a fiber-rich product. So what we add to our products now is only pea-based protein, pea protein, 100% natural pea protein, peas. So that's the only thing we add to up our protein content, because that is something that people want. And that is the only thing without affecting our taste. So we are getting close to a 10% protein intake to 100 grams. So that's the only thing that we add, which is other than the...
Hello. I just wanted to know what were the 3 products or 3 ideas that you had prior to
Yeah, so the 3 businesses I did. So we started off so when I quit law, I first joined a family business. So we have hotels, so I joined that business and I left that within 6 months. Then I started a solar company. So I started doing solar water heaters, solar lighting solutions. And yeah, so we did that for quite some time. Then we added another thing, which was lighting. So we started doing like LED lightings. We did a lot of projects with that. So that was also doing well. But I knew this was a trading job. This was buying from here, putting it here. And so it was nothing that gave me a drive. But I knew you have to keep doing things. You can't stop and wait till you get that eureka moment. You have to keep doing, and then the opportunity will drop in. The third thing that I did, which I did little more passionately, a lot more passionately, in fact, was a restoration of an old heritage home. So 100-year-old Portuguese house, we bought it. I completely restored it and I sold it. And that's where I made some money. And that money has gone completely into WAKAO. So it was all my money that I made in that, not much, very little money I made, because I built it completely on borrowed money. So whatever money I took even from the family, it was all on borrowed money. And I paid an interest to everyone on everything. So I did not make a lot of money out of it, just very little, which went into funding WAKAO completely, fully into WAKAO. And then WAKAO happened. And now, after being bootstrapped for more than a year and a half, we are finally going to breathe when some funds are going to be infused. And yeah, so that's how the story has been till now. So, another very interesting thing with WAKAO was, when WAKAO was taking place, we were going to do 4 products with WAKAO, and not only jackfruit. We were going to do a kokum-based product, a mango-based product, a coffee, and 1 jackfruit product. So that point of time, there was another very interesting thing that came to my mind. A very close friend of mine, Praveen Kakode, who was like a mentor. So we were having this discussion, and that's when we decided that instead of hitting 4 nails once, hit 1 nail 4 times. And decided to go only with jackfruit because no one was doing it. So there were hundreds of kokum products. There are thousands of mango products. There are so many coffees. But have you ever heard of a jackfruit meat? No. So the idea was there. They said, let's just own this space. And today, what WAKAO wants to do is become synonymous with jackfruit. So it's like toothpaste Colgate, photocopy Xerox, jackfruit WAKAO. That is what we are trying to achieve.
Thank you for the wonderful talk. That was,
Yes, she's asking a question. Next.
I wanted to ask you one question. Where do you see WAKAO Foods 5 years down the road?
Wow, nice question. This is like my ultimate dream. This question is only my ultimate dream. So, ma'am, I 5 years down the line, I see WAKAO as one of India's food startup unicorns. I see WAKAO all across the world, at least in 50 countries. And we should be in almost every modern trade outlet in India, where WAKAO will be a household name. And a few tie-ups with some of the biggest brands in India, where they sell. So if you go to probably a McDonald's, they should be selling a WAKAO burger there. I don't know if it will take 5 years or 10 years, but that's like my ultimate aim in life is to get. So if you all have had an Oreo shake, everywhere you go, Oreo. What is Oreo? Is a brand, but today they're using that brand to call it an Oreo shake in a KFC or a McDonald's. So I want a WAKAO burger to be there somewhere. Yes, sir.
So just to ask you some post-mortem of your Shark Tank deal.
Yeah.
Some of the people felt you diluted too much because others in Shark Tank weren't accepting so much for dilution. Do you feel so? And after doing the Shark Tank deal, accepting financing, do you find any repercussions of that into your business?
So I just said a little about it before you entered. So in law we have I'll tell you, in law we have this thing called, this is sub judice. This matter is sub judice. I cannot talk about it. That kind of a thing is there. But I'll talk about the Shark Tank deal. It's a little complicated now because the deal has not yet gone through. We are still working on it. On your point of whether it was too much of a dilution, yes, it was. It definitely was. A lot of people had a lot of opinions about it, and that was nice to see. Also, sometimes you don't realize that you've taken a decision that you felt at that point of time. It was so. Just for you all to know a little about Shark Tank, my discussions with them went on for more than an hour. What you all saw on TV was 15 minutes, but it was for an hour, and I negotiated with them for more than 15 minutes. So I literally begged. I said, please, this, that. It went on for a lot of time. Then twice they went behind, they came back. So there was a lot of back and forth. At that point of time, I thought that it was the right thing to do because we needed that deal and I wanted to work that way. But when I came out, I realized that my decision that I took over there was being debated, and people were actually, so not only people who I knew, but if you see, I was just telling them on YouTube, they just recently re-aired my entire pitch with the backstory and all. And in 4 or 5 days, it had more than 10 lakh views. And there are like 700 comments on it. And sometimes when I have nothing to do in life, I just sit and I read those comments. Imagine reading comments about yourself. Amazing thing, from unknown people. I never experienced this before in life. And then sometimes I sit on Facebook also on my video, on some video which someone has put, and people, some people are abusing you, some people are making fun of you, they're calling you such nice words and saying this guy doesn't have brains, 21% de diya, in maao ne usko kha liya. So there were a lot of things that people were saying and people were doing. But I'm someone who, like I said, suno sabki karo khud ki. So I analyzed the entire situation, and we know what we are worth. As a brand, we know what is our valuation and what we are worth. And in the next few days, probably we'll be taking a decision which does justice to that. Because for me, I honestly, I'll tell you, I feel I'm the caretaker of this brand. It's not my brand. It's everyone's brand who works with us. It's every Goan's brand. In some time, it may be every Indian's brand, where people can connect with the brand. It is their brand. So I'm a custodian of the brand. I need to take a decision that is in the best interest of the brand, of the company that you're building. So based on that, a decision will be taken. On Shark Tank, it's a handshake. It's no deal is signed there. There's a lot of due diligence that happens afterwards, because even the sharks need to make sure that whatever this guy said over there on stage is true, I can go and say anything. But then they see our papers and a lot of due diligence happens. And based on that, the deal is finalized. But yes, the deal is not yet closed. And in the next few days, you'll know there's some things in the pipeline. Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
An article from the Better India, it states that was startup Indian capital needs no refrigeration. It lasts for 1 year. So how can you practice game?
So, we undergo a simple process called retort packaging. It's no rocket science. It's a simple heating process, which heats the product at a particular temperature with certain pressure, which kills the bacteria inside the packet and puts it at status quo. So there's no new bacteria that can enter. And that gives it a shelf life of 1 year. And you don't require any kind of refrigeration. In fact, the shelf life is for more than 18 months. But we give a 1 year claim. And this process is being used by a lot of big giants as well. And it's a very old process called retort. That is how we do it.
Hi, sir. 3 questions, if you don't mind.
Sure.
So I will start off. I want to ask these questions because I hope the students relate to this. So some of the things that we teach in class, for example, is beyond focusing. I want to ask you one question with respect to that. So number one is, how do you know that jackfruit will catch up? Something that did not happen for centuries. Why do you suddenly have this glamorous fantasy that suddenly the jackfruit will now catch up with everybody because we have called it a WAKAO? Okay, and so people will start taking jackfruit. So that's the first thing. So how do you know there will be demand? Because yours is a product which is created a product and now creating a market for itself. Unlike a tailor-made kind of a place where you already have a market and you're making for the market. So you are now trying to create or carve a market for yourself. So one of the things that I look at is, and considering that you're looking at 270% compound annual growth rate to become a unicorn in the next 5 years. Why do you believe people will eat jackfruit? So what is it that you will do to create that demand? I mean, something that I expected the students to probably ask you. Since they did, I'm doing it. So that's the first part. The second question is more finance part of it. Why do you think bootstrapping is the best thing that a startup can look at? Why do you look at these concepts like Mudra loan and all that? Which are coming to you at a pretty cheap rate. Because even if you look at your Shark Tank kind of episodes, people are trying to keep loans at 12% per annum, which is almost a percentage per month kind of an interest rate. So that's the second part. And third part, what is the process that happens in these private investments? Like, what is it that you do? Because once you obviously give a report that there is due diligence and stuff like that, what is it that goes more into it? How do they determine the valuation? Because there is something called as an intrinsic valuation that is subjected to a particular firm. But when they make an investment, for example, suppose you got a valuation decided as 10 crores. How do you come to that 10 crore value? These are 3 parts. Thanks.
Thank you. So the first question, how we are going to make the entire world eat jackfruit or India eat jackfruit? So it was not just a dream that I one day woke up and said that, wow, jackfruit, let's make everyone eat jackfruit. I realized that jackfruit was turning out to be quite a craze across the globe. First point. That's what made me actually look at it. So one thing I knew for sure is that there's a global market. Okay. And even today, I firmly believe that my biggest market is the global market. The second thing that I very firmly believed even then when I started off was that it is going to be a category creation in India. In India, it's going to be as good as an invention. It's going to be something which people have not heard about. So there's always that extra fun in that, I said, kya hoga zyada se zyada? Will not work. I still have an international market, which is already anyway buying. But the second thing to this was not just my gut that it will work in India, but also analysis, which shows you that whatever happens in the West, 4, 5, 6 years later, does come to India. And Indians absorb it with much more tenacity and craze. That was another thing. Now, as far as the mock meat culture, the more I read about it, the more intriguing it was getting. I realized that people today, and with COVID, The biggest thing was we started in COVID. This whole concept came in COVID. So what COVID did was it made most of us, I don't know if all of y'all, but most of us to take what gets on our plate very seriously. We were very conscious of what we were eating now. Health had suddenly become such an important thing. People realized that life is so unpredictable. So we need to eat healthy, we need to improve our immunity, we need to do a lot of more things. Now I saw an opportunity there. I saw that if we can come up with a product, people today are ready to pay that 100 rupees extra for a healthier product. And jackfruit was something that we have to accept that 80% of India has eaten jackfruit in some form or the other. You would have had a fruit, or you would have had a bhaji, or you would have had jackfruit chips. Something of jackfruit you have had sometime in your life. So there is an emotional factor to it also. There is this fruit which is being wasted, which suddenly someone is completely presenting to you all in a different avatar. So there were a lot of these factors which made me believe with real backup of the global market and the trends that were going on in the global market and the numbers that were there in the global market. Honestly speaking, we've done very deep research now, not then. Then it was more of an instinct call with this basic research. But now we've done.
So, Sairaj, if I may just interrupt
Yeah,
you,
yeah.
Since you only said about 4 days, different places, you hit the same day 4 times.
Yeah.
Would it have been a better strategy for you to first target the global market and have it bounce with a more force on the Indian market? Which probably would have captured and absorbed your product better.
So there are.
You would have become 100% exporter.
So there are two things to that. The export market right now also for us is more of a B2B market. It's where we are selling WAKAO as jackfruit, not WAKAO as WAKAO. There are two things to it. So we in December, we exported 4 tons of jackfruit in Horeca segment. In the Horeca segment where WAKAO is not going to feature anyway, it's jackfruit which is going there. Now there are two things to this. One is that we wanted to own a space that did not exist. That was a jackfruit space. In India, people know jackfruit. It's very easy to tell them, this is from jackfruit, this is something you've been eating. Kura we call it, no? Kuyachi bhaji. So it was very easy to tell people in India, kathal ki biryani everyone has eaten in the north. So the idea was to build a brand. The idea is never to be a B2B player. The idea is to build a brand. And the B2B is only going to fund the brand, to build a brand. Till I build a brand, this is all which is going to help my machinery run around. So exports is not giving me the growth in the branding. Exports is giving me the growth in the finances. It's helping my company run. But my brand is being built in India. WAKAO is being built in India. It's a long drawn process. It'll take time. But if I don't start now, someone else is going to come and eat that space. It's about that opportunity. You can't wait and wait and wait. That opportunity will go. So I knew for a fact that people are now jumping onto it. And trust me, we had a lot of packs of ours which were being ordered by the R&D team of Nestle and some other people. A lot of people are doing research on our product. So I know for a fact that all these giants, they've already entered plant-based. Everyone's looking out at this space. It's a huge space. And we saw it 2 years back. And we thought we should really make the most of it. And therefore, I am a firm believer. I understand this theory of trying to focus on one kind of a thing and all. But I look at it the other way around. I say, me as one person, you would say I need to focus in one thing. But what I say is I'll create and I'll build 4 very strong and robust teams which will independently focus on each avenue. So it's not me focusing. We've built an infrastructure which is focusing. So we've already started. We have a very strong, robust exports team, which is going to focus only on exports. I don't want them to focus on anything else now. So then that's their 24-hour job. Exports. D2C, D2C. Sales, domestic. So I only sit on top and see that all these guys are doing their job right and to make the other things work. But like I said, it's not a one-man army. And I feel that if there is business there for the taking, if there's an opportunity for the taking, why leave it because of traditional notions? I don't believe in it. I think we can still capture the market from different angles if we have the right infrastructure and team in place. So that is for that question. Now, the second question you asked was about, I'm sorry, the third one is about investment, I know. The second one? Okay, till you remember this. Huh? Mudra loan. So, honestly speaking, I had that funding because I had that money of my previous business. I didn't have to borrow money from anyone. So I thought, and I had borrowed a lot of money before that. So I just got down from that whole stress of paying back everyone's money. So I didn't want to borrow more money, very honestly. There was nothing more to that or less to that. It's just that when you get off that big burden off your shoulder, you don't want to take another burden very soon again. And I had the money. So I said, let's use it. And it wasn't big money that I needed. Honestly, it wasn't big money. It was that much which I needed, which was there, which I put into the business. And then I realized one thing very clearly. Within 4 months of starting the venture, I realized I want to build this like a startup. I have lived and I have come up in traditional businesses where 100% of the ownership is owned by the family. And those businesses have grown to a level and I've always remained at that level. Very comfortable life. Don't get me wrong. It's a very comfortable life. All the luxuries of life, everything is there. But then it's never gone to another level. So my aim was always, and I made it very clear to everyone involved, I made it very clear to my family that I'm going the startup route. I want to disrupt the market. I'm using these words. I want to disrupt the market and I want to see unconventional growth at crazy speed. So for that, I'm going the startup route, and therefore those loans I did not take. But I've taken some very other unique kind of finance. So when you work in this ecosystem, you realize there are so many startups doing so many different things. So there is this startup called Club, KLUB, who gives you revenue-based finance. So their repayment is based on how much you're earning. Based on your earnings, you're paying them. So in 1 month you earn 10 lakhs, you pay them 2 lakhs. The next month you earn 2 lakhs, you pay them 20,000. So it's like that. And at the end of the period, you need to close the loan with them. So we've taken those kind of loans and we are moving on in a different direction. So therefore, Mudra loan wasn't in my view then. It's always a great start. It's not that it's wrong. For someone who doesn't have the resources, 100% go for those Mudra loans or CMIR's loan. All of those is available. Third question was how this whole VC structure works. Like I said, I have now done more than 50, 70 interviews with people of VC, like funding guys, investors. I talk to everyone. The first thing that anyone is seeing is the founder. क्या इस founder में दम है या नहीं है? Can he make through his vision and his idea or not? That is the first thing that they go by instincts. Second is your paperwork and all of those things that they see. But it is mainly about that even for the VC. So there are different stages. There's something called as an angel investor. So we are at the stage where we are taking angel investment. So anything to the tune of say 1 crore or even 5 crores and all, till that it is like angel investment. Once you go to 1 million, which is 7.5 crores to around 2 to 3 crores, 3 million is a pre-seed. And then when you say a series A, a pre-series it is called, and then there is a series A. Series A is where you go 25 crore, 50 crore, that range. So there are different investors who come at different stages. So an angel investor is typically a businessman or someone who's just investing 20 lakhs, 30 lakhs in your business. That's why I say this is a great time to start, because now people are moving away from their FDs and traditional kind of investments. Now they're betting on people. They're betting on founders. They say, so I'll give you an example, okay? If someone invests in us, so we are now raising at 10 crore valuation. We are taking 5 investors, 20 lakhs each. So for 20 lakhs, I'm giving 2%, okay? And in 1 year's time, my estimate is that we will hit a 75 crore valuation. From a 10 crore valuation to 75 crores in 12 months. That's almost a 7.5x jump, right? So someone putting in a 20 lakh now, what is his valuation in a year's time? 7 times, almost 1.4 crores. So you see the growth that they've done. Can you get this in an FD or anywhere else? But what is the other side to this? This is what this guy is saying. What if it fails? That 10 crore valuation can become 5 crores. You've lost your money. So that's a bet. So that is how people are today entering. These are angel investors. So what they do typically is they invest in like 5-10 businesses. Even if one works, they made their money. So this is how that works. Then VC funding is a whole different ballgame. These are institutions. These are institutions mainly who get in funds from different big business houses or people, and then they invest in different ventures. So there's a lot of due diligence. In all of this, there's a lot of due diligence. They check all your papers, all the things that are there. And then if everything is fine. So the first stage is whether they like the founder, whether they like the idea, whether this is scalable. 3 things: founder, idea, scale. If these 3 things are ticked, second round, due diligence. Paperwork, all of these things ticked, funding comes in. So that is how it's the basic premise of it, how it works. How I've answered.
Final thing, I mean,
Yeah.
as a startup person, do you feel that the ecosystem existing in Goa is conducive?
It is very
So
conducive.
you have good amount of Indian investors who will be
100%. 100%. There are so many. And why do we look at Goa as your landscape? What is Goa?
I'm just saying, believe it.
No, I think we have to get out of this. It is not about Goa. Today, any startup you're doing here, more than your Goan businessman or entrepreneur, a fellow sitting in Delhi is more interested. He'll say that kidhar bhi ho, Timbuktu mein ho startup. Ye paise agar karega, to I'm interested. So that is how the whole game has changed today. And going digital and this whole thing has changed everything for everyone. So if you have a great idea, you can put this idea out there, you will see how people come in. So again, one last thing before I think we'll conclude, but one last thing. My request to all you guys, get very active on LinkedIn. I have done 98% of my business on LinkedIn for WAKAO. Most of my export orders have come from LinkedIn. Most of my investors have connected with me on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is the new social media. If I have to look at anyone trust me, if I have to look at anyone, any business contact, anything, first thing I do is I type his name on LinkedIn, his or her name, and check what is their standing. No one types it on Instagram anymore. Only if you want a boyfriend or a girlfriend to see on Instagram. But if you go to see great business potential, LinkedIn. So go on LinkedIn. So I'll tell you what, with this one Shark Tank thing, what has happened is today, LinkedIn has become my favorite playground. So if I put a post on LinkedIn, I can get close to 35,000 viewers on each post that I put. And that's big. That's big. So I've seen crazy traction on LinkedIn because there you're directly connected and talking to the person himself. There is no filter in between. You can talk to the MD and the chairman and the vice president of the biggest institute in the world directly. Okay? So make sure you go back. If you don't have a LinkedIn profile, create one and get active. It will take a few days to get a hang of it, but it's very simple. And if you already have one, get very active on LinkedIn. Yes, I think that's about it. Thank you.
It's an honor to have been asked to propose the Board of Plans. On behalf of Goa Business School and the entire management group here, I would like to thank Mr. Sairaj Dhond for sharing his graceful words with us. We shall surely remember your valuable teachings that were given us, and I'm sure you have inspired the to-be entrepreneurs from the audience on working on their dreams. Thank you one and all for attending to this FOMENTO lecture series. Have a nice day.
Thank you.
I want to see how quickly you organize yourself. Can you very quick photo that?
Can I close this? Can I close this meeting?